My boyfriend, 26, and his brother, 29, had a very toxic relationship. His brother had issues and had to pay for insurance as part of his job, but then he died from drinking and falling down the stairs. So insurance paid out a $260,000 split between him and his mom. Dad abandoned them, so $130,000 each. Boyfriend said he didn't want the money and wanted to donate it to a charity. We've been together for 3 years, and for 2 of that, I've paid the majority of the expenses. I make $90K a year, and he makes $35K. He also has credit card debt from not making enough to survive on medical debt. I paid $2,000 of our $2,600 rent, most of the food cost, so he can pay off debt. I will admit, I feel like he can do better. Still, with his bad upbringing and crappy family, I tried to be gentle about nagging him. Unfortunately, he hasn't made any areas of improvement. I've worked hard to get new jobs and increase my salary, and he hasn't, which hurts because I work a lot, 9 to 11 hours a day, while he gets to follow his passion. He teaches kids gymnastics, which doesn't pay well. I'm an engineer, and I'm doing all the work keeping us afloat. So when he got the money, I said we should buy an apartment or use it to pay off his debt or save it, but he wanted to donate it. And I'm really hurt because he doesn't care that by doing that, I'm forced to keep working harder and harder to support us, especially because our rent got legally increased to $2,900. So if we resign for the place, almost half of my money's going to rent. So I tried to explain that we need the money and he can donate a portion, but he needs to take care of our finances first, like I've been doing for years. But he's mad that I want to use his brother's blood money and accuses me of only seeing money when it's about doing the right thing. Of course, he only cares about doing the right thing while letting me do all the hard stuff, like paying bills and taking care of real life. His brother died almost a year ago, and he got the insurance money 6 months ago and hasn't helped out at all. I've already talked to him about everything I've written above, and he just ignores me. Last month, I found out he donated everything to the American Cancer Society. I found the tax receipt he got from donating. While it's a good cause, it doesn't help our finances. I was so angry that I was left paying for everything so he could feel noble. I've told him he needs to start paying half the rent and food, and I'm no longer subsidizing him. We have had many fights about this because I only buy enough food for myself, and he gets home with nothing to eat and accuses me of being selfish. He says because I make more, I should be paying for what I do, but he got a lot of money, so why doesn't he pay more for things? Even his mother, who wasn't great to him, called and begged him to keep the money rather than donate it. Everyone in my life, my parents, my friends, and my sister, consider him a bum and openly ask me why I'm with him. I don't know if I can answer it positively anymore because I feel used. But am I the idiot for insisting my boyfriend pay for half of everything now that he's donated his brother's entire insurance money? Do you want outside permission to dump him? Boom, done and granted. Break up with him. You are not the idiot. Anyone who gets money like that and gives it away when they actually have responsibilities is no one to continue making a life with. Bail, flee, scurry, abandon ship. Save yourself, your sanity, your money, and your time. Girl, he's taking advantage of you, and you're letting him. Why should he get a better job when you pay for his lifestyle? He's not going to change. Exactly. This guy has shown you he doesn't care about you or your shared future as a couple. Yes, he's grieving. Yes, he probably can't face using that money due to where it came from, but he cannot then, in the same breath, mooch off of you. Your suggestion was sensible. Donate some, pay off debt, and then contribute fairly to the household. But he made a major life decision and hid it from you until you found out from finding the receipt. So he's not acting like a partner. He doesn't care that you're being pushed past your point of comfort financially, and he doesn't think you deserve to be told important things. I hate the phrase, but at this point, he's quitting your relationship, and you haven't realized it yet. Seriously, he's a bum. Why are you with him? He's a financial burden who doesn't care about you, doesn't listen to you, and doesn't want to help you. So help yourself. Choose you, because he will always choose himself. My nephew turned 18 this week and wanted a party with just him and his friends. He didn't want it at his house because he said his dad and brother are super controlling. I said he could have it at my place since I'd be out of town. I expected my house to be in the same condition as I had left it. I came home this morning and my house was messed up. Dishes were everywhere, trash, and my bathrobe was missing. My nephew had already left, so I drove to my brother's house. I let myself in, went into my nephew's room, woke him up, and told him to go clean my house, now. He said he did, and I said, "If you don't clean my house, help me, God." As he was getting dressed, my brother asked what was going on. I told him it was being taken care of. He said I can't barge into his house like that and wake people up. I said, given the circumstances, I can. Am I the idiot for making my nephew clean up after himself? Edit. My nephew gave me his word he would leave my house in the same condition as I left it. Wait, so you're asking, am I the idiot for making your nephew clean up after himself? No, that's not the issue at hand. Am I the idiot for barging into your brother's house without permission at 4 a.m., waking the nephew up, brushing your brother off when he very reasonably wants to know why his home has been invaded and his child rousted out of bed, and not giving your brother the full story so that he could have the chance to support you in making his son act responsibly? 100% and emphatically, yes, you are the idiot. Exactly this. As soon as OP got to, I let myself in, I was like, oh no. There are zero circumstances in which this is a good idea. The point of having the party at OP's was to avoid parental control, which means the parents have no idea what happened. So OP just barged into someone else's house for seemingly no reason and gave no explanation. Even if the parents were on OP's side, they probably aren't now, because what the heck? I don't get why so many people seem to be glossing over the whole the parents don't know about the party, like that's not an issue. I'd be so angry at my sibling if they let my kid throw a party unsupervised at their house because my nephew gave me his word. Your nephew should have cleaned up, but didn't. Who could have predicted that, though? Probably everyone on the planet. Be happy nothing's destroyed or broken, which I'm sure you'll find there are indeed things broken and destroyed. You got played by the nephew. His parents said no for a reason. I, female, nearly adult, have a twin sister who passed away almost a year ago. She was my best friend, and losing her felt like I lost part of myself. It feels like a part of me is missing. I've been in therapy, which has helped me a lot. My parents, though, haven't been doing well. They argue a lot, which rarely ever happened before. It's made being at home difficult. Being a twin means my sister and I share a birthday. Yesterday was our birthday. I ended up missing school because I didn't think I'd be able to concentrate. My parents understood, so they let me stay home. They didn't wish me a happy birthday or buy me a present. They knew what day it was, though, so I laid in bed all day. A few hours after the usual time school got out, a few close friends of both my sister and me came over with cupcakes, balloons, and presents. It honestly made me so happy my friends did that. We're in the basement, just hanging out and talking, when my mom yelled for me to come upstairs. She asked what was going on, and I explained what happened. She said I can't believe I want to celebrate without my sister. I said, well, it's my birthday too, and I miss my sister so much. Today's been hard for me, but you and Dad act like today isn't our birthday. You still have me. You should still acknowledge I'm here and try to support me. She got mad and called me selfish. We haven't talked since. It was very hard having my birthday without my twin, but to help me, I feel like I just can't act like this day isn't happening. Plus, I know my twin would want me to still celebrate. Not the idiot. First, I'm sorry for your loss, but I can't imagine your sister would want you to live a life of mourning. hoping she was there in spirit. But it seems like your parents aren't handling things well, and please don't let them hold you back. Maybe try to let them mourn in their own way, but they certainly need to incorporate therapy into their process. I understand your parents are upset and miss her, but that's no excuse to pretend that a birthday doesn't exist and not acknowledge their daughter, who's also hurting. Your parents will lose both their kids if they don't stop with this. It sounds like your very presence triggers your parents in the same way that your shared birthday does. It's mind-bogglingly insensitive to call you out for receiving the love and kindness of your awesome and thoughtful friends. Be happy that you have wonderful friends that are there for you. Based on what OP said, their mutual friend showed up unprompted to throw OP an intimate party of them just chilling. This could also be part of their friend group's healing process because people process grief differently. OP's birthday doesn't cease to exist because their twin passed away. It does a disservice to both of them by making the day all about the deceased. I'm a fellow twinless twin. Instead of ignoring our birthday, I call it celebrating for us both, which occasionally means I overindulge. On the flip side, I have another twinless friend that tries to ignore his birthday. It's not about what your parents think. This is about you and how you choose to honor your twin and your day. I, 38 female, live alone in the house I grew up in. It was left to me by my mother after she passed away 10 years ago. About 4 years ago, a couple about my age moved in next door, and we've been at odds since day one. There have been numerous times and issues that we disagreed on. I have 3 cats that I sometimes let out into my backyard. My neighbors have a dog that would jump the 5-foot chain link fence separating our yards to chase my cats. I told my neighbors if I caught their dog doing it again, I would call the cops. They actually dared to ask if I would be willing to split the cost of a taller privacy fence instead of, training your dog not to jump the fence. Obviously, I refused, as I wasn't the one causing the problem, and the fence is technically on their property anyway, so they ended up putting in a taller fence. Then they asked me to split the cost of taking down an ash tree that was on their property. It had become infested with some bugs that killed the tree, and dead limbs fell on their driveway. They had the city come out, and the survey guy said the tree was about 10% on my property. I told them the tree was theirs, and they'll have to pay for it if they want it down, because I don't have a problem with it. Needless to say, we're not friends. Unfortunately, they've also thrown some loud late-night parties that included bonfires and loud music that I had to call the cops for. I'm currently out of town visiting family for a couple of weeks. I have a friend who comes over to my house every day to check on my cats and check for mail and packages. In addition, I have medication for my cats that's delivered regularly. I got a notification the other day that some packages were delivered, so I texted my friend to let them know. But before my friend could get there, I got a notification for my Ring doorbell. So I pulled up the live feed and saw my neighbor on my patio. I asked him what he was doing, and he said their package got delivered to my house by mistake, so he was just grabbing it. I told him to leave and that my friend would bring over his package when she came over. He said he wasn't waiting for that, and he tried to leave. I told him if he takes a package from my porch, I'm calling the cops. He shoved the package in front of the camera and said, "That's my name and address, OP. I'm taking my package." Then he walked away. So I called the police and told them that he'd stolen a package from me, and I had video proof. They said they would investigate. When my friend got there a little later, the police were talking to my neighbors. The police must have left while she was checking on my cats, because when she went to leave, it was just my neighbors outside. The husband yelled at her to tell me that I was a huge idiot and that I needed to take the police off speed dial and let them deal with more important crap instead of using them as my own personal problem-solving service. You are the idiot. They sound like absolutely awful neighbors, and under any other circumstances, I'd side with you in a second. But you called the cops and accused them of stealing their own package? They didn't steal from you. They fetched something that belonged to them off your porch. And while yes, I suppose they were trespassing, if you get medication delivered, then you know that sometimes packages can't wait. And perhaps this was a situation like that. And it doesn't sound like you cared to listen to anything they had to explain. If you want to be seen as the better person than your idiot neighbors, you have to be the better person. OP, you're the selfish neighbor type. Good neighbors are friendly and kind to each other. A good neighbor would go 50-50 on a fence because it benefits them both. It also adds to the property value of both. A good neighbor would go 10% on the tree because it's also on their property and also benefits their property value. A good neighbor would understand that they're grabbing their own package. But if you intentionally foster bad relationships, you can only expect bad interactions. Also, domesticated dogs are generally not considered predators, though cats are notorious for destroying local bird populations. Sure, you don't get along, but stop calling the cops for trivial matters. Yeah, the police must hate her, and very surprising to hear that she lives alone. OP, you're a 38-year-old woman. That's not old enough yet to be the nasty old lady neighbor who makes a huge deal out of everything, argues with neighbors, and calls the police to settle your one-sided disputes. Chill. My girlfriend, 24, and I, 31 male, have been together for almost a year. Our relationship has been great up until now, and we're in it for the long term. We don't live together yet. My girlfriend lives in an apartment with some roommates, while I live in my house that I bought 2 years ago. About 6 months ago, my younger sister, 19, started to attend college in a city about a 20-minute walk away from my house. My sister's more introverted and doesn't like the typical college life of living in a dorm with other people and being surrounded by partying and alcohol. Since I live so close by, she asked if she could move in with me for her first year until she meets other people she'd be comfortable with sharing an apartment. My house is pretty big, so there was no reason not to let her stay with me. She's been living with me for almost half a year. She has her room on the second floor that was previously empty, while I do everything on the ground floor and first floor. My girlfriend has been talking a lot about moving in together recently, and I'm entirely on board with that. We were even making specific plans on when she could move in. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until she, out of nowhere, asked me when I would make my sister move out so that she could move in. I told her that my sister would move out eventually, but that she wasn't moving out for at least 6 months and might even stay longer if needed. There was plenty of room for the three of us without getting in each other's way. This somehow riled my girlfriend up, and she started telling me that she didn't want anybody living with us and that my sister needed to be an adult and live independently. I told her that I had promised my sister and that I wasn't going back on my word. This turned into an argument, with her telling me that she wanted us to live alone with nobody else around, and me explaining that I couldn't leave my sister hanging. I tried to reason with her, but she kept repeating this, so I told her that I was not making my sister move out, regardless of what she was going to do. Finally, she got emotional and told me that I was choosing my sister over her, and that what I was doing was wrong. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your girlfriend is showing an egocentric lack of family sense, which should make you think twice about continuing the relationship if she's already this petty and entitled about getting rid of your 19-year-old sibling. Definitely put any plans for a future with her on hold and reconsider whether this is truly the only red flag. Sorry, dude. I think she really likes your house, not you. Really think about what your girlfriend is showing you. So far, she's been the lovely girlfriend until she's hooked you in. She feels entitled to get rid of your sister from your house. She really is selfish, and it's showing. If it was me, I couldn't look at her the same way again. OMG, you've been dating this person for almost a year, which is to say, less than a year. Your sister, on the other hand, is your sister. She's your family. If someone you've been with for less than a year puts you in a situation where you have to choose between them and an immediate family member, you absolutely should choose your family. My response would have been something like, I'd rather not be in a position of having to choose between you and my family, but if you create that situation, of course I'll choose my family. Good luck, OP.